Hello everyone, it's Bernard here, and welcome to the Almost Painted channel. So today I'm gonna do something out of character for us, and I'm gonna actually paint a model. And as the channel name suggests, we have a huge backlog of unpainted models. I decided to do something about it to fight my inner painting demons. So what I did is I picked up one model that excites me, because it's important to do something that is, exciting for you, that you enjoy. So I picked up Kaldor Draigo from the Grey Knights, which, by the way, is a tease that the Grey Knights are coming to the channel, so subscribe for that. And then I decided to limit myself to paint it wholly in 30 minutes. Now, here is a big asterisk that the 30 minutes limit doesn't include waiting for the paints to dry, because honestly, shades itself, they take up 30 minutes to dry. So without this, 30 minutes of brush work, if you will. And yeah, let's see how you can paint Kaldor Draigo in 30 minutes. Also, giving this video a like will help us tremendously, because we are trying to, grow, and also it's really rewarding to see you guys liking our content, and it will help us to change the Almost Painted channel to Wholly Painted channel, hopefully. So without further ado, let's roll. Okay, so after priming him silver, I painted all the non-metallic parts with a base Wraithbone. Now, this may seem like an extra step, but it actually makes everything faster and easier down the road. So I painted the banner, the ropes, all the purity seals, everything that's not made of metal. I didn't even bother with the gun casing, because the black paints will cover it nicely actually. After painting everything with Wraithbone, I now painted the ropes and the banner with Baal Red contrast. It's one of the new contrasts from Games Workshop. It's one pigment paint, so it's very vibrant, it's very rich, it's absolutely stunning color. And I obviously painted only the outside of the ropes to have the white interior, provide some variety to the model. And I think it looks absolutely beautiful already, but we'll obviously work it down later. Now I used the Black Templar and the Black Legion to paint all the gun casing, all the cables, all the armor joints. And I painted the gun itself with the Black Legion because it's the more covering, darker black, and I used the Black Templar, which worked here as a, deeper, more intense shade, and I used it on all the cables or all the pipes and the army joints to help them stand out. Now I move to the face. I simply painted with Gilliman Flesh, very quick and simple step. Then I move to the paperwork, parchments, and I use Skeleton Horde because it's actually quite dark and it will, differentiate itself from the ropes. And it's actually quite nice because even without adding the text to the parchments, it looks, already worn and old and kinda busy. Then I painted the wax seals with some green. I used Ork Flesh contrast, but honestly you can use any color you like to, just provide some variety. I thought that the green worked exceptionally well here, but feel free to use purple, pink, or whatever suits you. Then I used white scar to do some highlights on the blade and the flask. Similar to how the airbrushes technique works, you basically put the highlights first and then you apply the color later, so it will have this natural gradient and the highlights. I used Magos Purple to make the flask and blade look kinda mysterious, mystic, magic, sorcery stuff, and I thought it worked out pretty nice. I tried to keep the paint thick, though not to clog, and keep it evenly distributed. The highlights are already applied. Now I used Garaghaks sewer to paint all the brown details, so the leather hood and the book cover, and I really like the Garaghaks sewer look because it looks very gritty, dark, ancient in fact, and it suits really well with the Grey Knights mysterious aesthetic. The paint actually makes the book cover feels like it's textured almost. It's very good, and it combines very well with the gold details that we will provide in a moment. And for the gold parts, I use the Retributor Armour, and there's a lot of gold for a Grey Knight model. But that's good because we want Drago to stand out as the faction leader. So all the lettering, all the skulls, all the, you know, Inquisition insignia, the book edges, you paint it all gold, and just be sure to keep the paint smooth so it fills the recesses, because we'll provide shading in a moment. Now we just focus to cover everything, every detail in gold. Now it looks kinda cheap, but we will fix it just in a moment. We use the Nuln Oil shade to basically shade all the model. We shade all the armor, all the details, the banner, the face, the gun, the shield, the the sword even. Basically it's easier to say what we do not shade, and what I skipped was the most protruding parts of the robes. I even tried to provide some very deep shading for the white inner robe to, you know, to highlight the borders, but I tried to keep the white parts clean. And again, you try to not make the paint, not make the shade to clog any details, but to cover everything quite, you know, smoothly and evenly. Now I used the Stormhost Silver to provide some highlights. On some parts I used it as edge highlight, but sometimes I just brought up the silver out again, because let's be honest, the silver armor is the most important part of a Grey Knight model. So feel free to, you know, to be liberal with it. You can use quite a lot of it. I think that the shades and the other details will bring the overall tone together, but again, try to make the details, the silver details, pop, to bring the textures, bring the sharpness to the shield, to the armor parts. And overall I think that it looks very, very nice. It's not obviously a golden demon standard, even though I added some details like the temple guard blue to some jewels in the sword and in his forehead, but I think that he looks like he's been through a lot. He looks experienced, venerable. It really suits the overall army tone, and it was so fast that it actually made me, you know, want to finish all the other Grey Knights. And if I will be doing a patch painting, by the time the first model finishes drying, I will be finishing the last one and going back to the first one. So it's kinda efficient way, and really only few paints to paint such a standout character model. I enjoyed it. I like the end result. I hope you guys also like it. So yeah, give this video a like, subscribe, and let's see each other in the next one. Bye bye.